So this is a Compass Corona 482, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van you've got the jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. Front locker, you've got your gas bottle with your gas pipework going up to the regulator. On top of the bottle you've got your on-off valve for the gas supply. And you'll notice on the side of the regulator pipework there's a yellow valve where you can turn off the gas supply past the regulator. On the right hand side front of the van you've got your wind down leg. And you've got the same on the opposite side of the van. They're just there to stabilise the Caravan, not lift the Caravan. If you lifted the Caravan with these, it could potentially damage the floor of the van. Heating and hot water flow. You need to remove the cover prior to igniting the gas system, like so. So you need to always have that removed essentially when you're on site if you're going to run the gas on board the van. Then got your water pump connection, blue trigger on the back of the pump. Pull the blue trigger back and push it into the side of the van to lock it in. Then your water pump will drop down inside the aqua roll. You then got your motor mover and wheel nuts. The motor mover will demonstrate here on site, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts before the Caravan leaves site, so you can see they've been tightened correctly. Rear of the Caravan, we've got the wind down legs again, which are there to stabilise the van, not lift the van. And you've also got your grey waste pipe, so the fresh water that goes in the front of the van has to come out somewhere, and that is where the water would come out of. 2 bits of grey pipe work go into the larger diameter holes on the outside, and they'll drop down inside your Wastemaster. On the door side of the van, you've got the toilet flush tank, so you put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. And then you've got your toilet cassette at the bottom, which you pull up the yellow handle at the bottom and pull the cassette towards you. The yellow cap is a measure for the pink and blue fluid. And when you pull the cassette out, you'll see there's a yellow button on the back, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You need to put 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. Coming down the door side of the van, you've got your underbed storage, so you can access the storage unit, storage underneath the bed. You've got your battery locker with 110 amp leisure battery in there, your mains, your gas barbecue point, and your wind down leg for this side of the van. As I said, in there you'll be able to plug the mains lead in also, and we'll demonstrate that while you're here on site. Behind the door you've got your 2 fridge vents. Very simply, they are there to allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit and take some cool air in. And also there is a gas flue behind one of those, so when the gas system is operating it can breathe as it needs to. On the inside of the Caravan you've got your master switch for the Caravan to turn your 12 volt supply on, so you'd need to have that on to allow the 12 volt systems and the lighting to work on board the Caravan. So that is obviously your main power switch for the van essentially. First thing you're going to need to do once you've got that power turned on is fill the water system up on board the van. So what you're going to do is turn the pump off for a second. I've already filled the system up, but just going to demonstrate how to do it. Open all taps up on the hot side of the water system. As you can see, water's now started spitting and splattering. It's run out of pressure. Then we're going to go underneath the seat on the right hand side front of the van. And underneath that seat, you're going to see your yellow drain down valve. That yellow drain down valve, for you to fill the water system up, needs to be parallel with the floor as it is now. If that valve is pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, it'll actually drain all the water out of the system on board the van. So parallel with the floor to fill the water system up. Once you've got that valve parallel and all the taps open on the hot side, you can then come to your water pump switch, turn your water pump on, and as the pressure gets up and the water gets through the pipe work, the water system will be full. Once you've got water running continuously out of every tap, you can then shut all of the taps off and start thinking about warming the water on gas or electric. Now to do that, you have 2 dials on the other side of the Caravan. Very simply, the switch here is for your electric water heating. If that switch is on, then the water system is going to warm up on the 240 volt. If you want to warm it up on gas, you're going to need to turn the gas on in the front locker, come over to your hob and get gas through to the hob first, and then come over to your control for your gas system for the water heater. Now turn the dial round to the flame symbol, and once it ignites on gas, you'll have a green light appear in the back here. If it fails to ignite or goes off at any point due to the fact that there's no gas in the bottle, a red light will appear just behind here. So just right on cue there, a red light appears. That red light is to let you know it has failed to ignite or the gas supply has run out. So like I said, green light means it's on, red light means it has failed to ignite. When it is on the gas water heating, and you need to boost it for showering, or you want to control the temperature of the water, you have a dial in the centre between 30 and 70 degrees. To turn the gas supply off, you'll spin that dial back to the off position. Heating on board the Caravan, very simple to use as well. The dial that you see here is for your electric heating. You will need to have this switch on here, as you'll notice when I turn that on. Green light appears to let me know there's electric going to the heater system on board the van. You will need to select the right power source down the side here when you do use ultra heat on board the Caravan. The reason being is depending on what site you're on, it'll either have 500, 1000 or 2000 watts of power available. So like I said, select the right power source down the side here. Then you can control the temperature of the heater on the dial in the centre. If you aren't sure what power source to use when you arrive on a site, if you arrive at the site office, ask the site office when you arrive, they'll be more than happy to help you. If you want to turn the heating off completely on electric, hit the switch and it will turn the electric supply back off, the same with the water heating. The heating for the Caravan can also be used on gas. Now to do that, you've got a dial just here on the left hand side of the heater. Spin the dial round to between 10 and 9, a bit like you would your barbecue. Hold the gas valve down and hit the igniter on the left hand side. Once it has ignited, you'll continue to hold down the gas valve and then you'll be looking for a pilot light in this window just down the front here. Now if that pilot light's lit, you'll have a flame somewhere in there, and when it's ignited, after 5 to 10 seconds you can slowly release the gas valve. At that point then you can control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top, but obviously just keep an eye for the first few moments just to make sure that that stays ignited on the pilot light. This Caravan also features blown air heating, so the little vents around the Caravan at the front is controlled by this dial just here. The dot here indicates the heat is going to come out the front of the heater, or we can have blown air continuous, so the heat comes out the vents around the Caravan with the fan speed control on top. Or we've got the A on the right hand side, and that is your ambient temperature. So essentially you can use the blown air, but it will cut in and out with the thermostat on board the van. So that's your heating and hot water controls. Next up, you've got your fridge. So very simple to use. Gas operation, you'll spin the dial around to the gas symbol, pressing the temperature control and hold it in, and it will self-ignite on gas. When it does, the little red line here will come round into the green, and again you'll continue to hold in the gas valve for 5 to 10 seconds while that red line stays in the green. Then you'll slowly release the valve and control the temperature of the fridge on gas or mains on the dial on the right hand side. 240 supply, again like I said, you'll control the temperature on the right hand side. And the last option you have is your 12 volt supply. Now 12 volt supply on a Caravan normally means the battery on board the Caravan. However, when it comes to the fridge, it means the 12 volt supply from the car you are towing with. So if you're towing down the road and you want to get the beers and wine nice and cold, you'll connect up to the car at the front, obviously. You'll then come inside the Caravan. As long as you've got the right connector on the car as you're travelling down the road, you'll be able to use the fridge as a cool box. So as you can see, 12 volt mode, you'd make sure you've got power supply coming to the, or you'd make sure you've got power or the right connection on the car. Connect up to the car, turn 12 volt mode on, and away you go, and it'll keep the sausages, the milk, all that sort of thing cold while you're on your travels. And more importantly, the beer. On the other side of the van, you've got your cooker, hob and grill. These work very much the same as your household appliances with your igniter on the front. Last thing we're going to go through on this particular van is the toilet system. So in the bathroom, you've got an electric pump flush, so you pump up and down to flush the toilet system. You've got a toilet full indicator lights. This light here will illuminate red when you need to empty the toilet waste cassette. The toilet seat does turn for your convenience, however I recommend you leave it in this position because if you turn it at all, you will not be able to remove the toilet cassette from underneath the Caravan. Below the toilet, you also have your grey waste handle, which you need to pull towards us to allow the toilet waste into the cassette under the van. If you have any further questions on the Compass Corona 482, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company and we'll be more than happy to help. We thank you for the business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your Caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.